Welcome to More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. We're gonna have some short demos. We're gonna have some Q&A. We might even have some special guests stop by. So sit back, relax, gather your notes and ask questions, and enjoy More with the Mac. JP Reloaded. Alright, welcome to another session of More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. If anybody's still wondering by now, the reason JP Reloaded is in there is because we're going to try to implement John's teaching style. Let's jump over here. So let me slow voiceover down. To change voiceover speed on the fly. Remember, it's voiceover keys, the command key, and the shift key, plus an arrow key to get to their category.
Volume 100%.
That's the volume.
Pitch 30%.
That's the pitch.
Rate 60%.
And this is the rate, so we're going to slow it down.
50%. Desktop.
All right. Little review here, because I noticed that voiceover was a little quiet on the last episode. Even though you could hear it, it was a little faint sometimes. So I'm not going to perform. I'm just going to go down the list. Remember the shortcut keys we practiced. Command Option L is downloads. Command Shift O is documents. Command Shift C is your computer section where your external hard drives will be. Your Macintosh HD, your network attached storage if you have, you have to load it first. And that is going to be found in your network section, which is Command Shift K. You can also find these keyboard shortcuts in your menu bar. So right now I'm in the Finder. If I do VOM,
menu bar Apple.
Now remember, like Trainer Matt discussed on the last episode, whatever app is that you're in is always going to be the second sub menu. So right now it's always going to be the Apple menu first, and the next one is
Finder.
It's going to be Finder. That tells me that I'm in the Finder. If I was in Mail, it would be Mail. If I was in Messages, it would be Messages. So 9 times out of 10, the next two menus are always going to be the same. It's going to be File and Edit.
File.
There it is. Edit.
Edit.
There it is. View.
View.
All right.
Go.
And this is the Go menu. This is where you can find those keyboard shortcuts I was just talking about.
Go. Back command left bracket.
So if you want to go back a level, command left bracket. Left bracket is the key just to the right of the letter P as in Paul.
Forward command right bracket.
Forward. Command right bracket.
Window. Go for and close recents command shift F.
Command shift F if you want to go to your recents.
Documents command shift O.
Told you that one.
Desktop command shift D.
Command shift D if you want to go to your desktop.
Downloads command option L.
Told you that one.
Home command shift H.
If you want to go to your home folder where your music, pictures, what else is there? Music, pictures. I'd have to go look. If you have your Dropbox and Google Drive on your Mac, that's where you'll find those also.
Library.
Well, that's pretty much for advanced users, but you can go in here and you can add sounds to your mail folder, stuff like that. If we have, a high demand for that, maybe I'll go into it, but I'm going to tell you right now, do it at your own risk because you could really mess something up if you don't know what you're doing in there.
Computer command shift C.
I told you about that one.
AirDrop command shift R.
Command shift R if you want to AirDrop something to other devices. We'll possibly look at that setting down the line.
Network command shift K.
Told you that one.
iCloud Drive command shift I.
Told you that one.
Shared command shift S.
Command Shift S, yes. So that's where you can go to look at the name of your computer and see if there's any share options with somebody else on your network.
Applications command shift A.
Command Shift A for your applications folder.
Utilities command shift U.
Command Shift U, that's where you're going to find your voiceover utility, your disk utility, some other options. I think automators in there and some other stuff.
OneDrive.
This is my OneDrive, and it doesn't have a shortcut, but since my OneDrive is since I'm logged into my OneDrive, it shows up here.
Google Drive hyphen kliff.miller.
My Google Drive.
Google Drive.
My other Google Drive that I have with bits.
Dropbox.
Dropbox.
Recent folders.
And recent folders.
Go to folder ellipsis, Command-Shift-G.
You heard that. If you want to go to a folder, Command-Shift-G. So,
Desktop.
Again, any application that you're in, all you got to do is go to the menu bar, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to give you keyboard shortcuts for anything. The file menu, the edit menu, the view menu, whatever. You just have to, explore. Remember, I said it in the last session. Don't be scared to explore. Don't be afraid to try things because you are not going to break nothing. All right. So, as I showed you before,
Desktop.
my desktop is empty, but let me show you how I customize that. So I'm going to hit Command, comma. This command will work in any application. I don't care if it's third party or what. But if you hit Command, comma, in any application on your Mac, whether it's a MacBook Air, Mac Studio, MacBook Pro, or the Mac Pro that costs $18,000 that only Paramount Plus or only Paramount, Sony Studios, and other big name companies use or buy, but any Mac that you are on, Command, comma is gonna open in your application settings. Your application settings it will open. So let's go up to the toolbar.
Toolbar.
Now remember to interact. If you're not using QuickNav, it's VO Shift down arrow. If you are using QuickNav like Lazy Cliff is, you just hit the down arrow and right arrow together to interact with this toolbar.
In toolbar. For sidebar, general.
All right, let's go to general. See what's up in here.
General selected.
So now selected. I did that by pushing up and down arrow together. If you're not using QuickNav, remember VO spacebar. So now I'm going to stop interacting with the Lazy Cliff way, and that's down arrow and left arrow. If you're not using QuickNav, it's going to be VO Shift up arrow.
Out of toolbar.
All right, let's see what our options are.
Show these items on the desktop.
All right, these are the items that you can see on your desktop if you choose. I don't, but I'm going to show you what they are.
Untick hard disks. Tick box.
All right, hard disk, which means my Macintosh HD. If I have another operating system, because with the Mac you can have 2 or 3. Actually, you can have as many systems running on it you want to because it runs in an APFS volume. I don't even know what the letters stand for. My mentor, John Paneris, told me one time, but my brain ain't thinking about that right now. But you would be able to see all those here if you check this box on your desktop.
Untick external disks. Tick box.
External disk, that means if you have a USB thumb drive, an external hard drive, you'll be able to see those items on the desktop if this box was checked.
Tick CDs, DVDs, and iPods. Tick box.
Please don't ask me why I still have that checked, but because I don't use CDs or DVDs no more. I definitely don't have a HomePod or an iPod, I should say. I haven't had an iPod since, my goodness, probably at least 2016 or 17, maybe 18. I don't know.
Untick connected servers. Tick box.
Connected servers. This would mean if you have a network attached storage device, like I do, I have a 55 terabyte NAS, as they call it, network attached storage device on my network. It's actually at the other end of my apartment in a cabinet connected to my router, but it's on the network so my Mac can see it.
New Finder Windows show.
All right, this is interesting here. So, New Finder window shows. That means when you hit Command N while you're in Finder, this is what it's going to show. For me, it's iCloud Drive.
iCloud Drive.
But you have other choices. So
Your desktop and documents. Tick sync desktop.
I skipped over there.
iCloud Drive.
So I'm going to VO spacebar or up and down arrow together to show you what your options are here.
Menu checkmark iCloud Drive.
I'm going to go up because I know iCloud Drive is the second to the last one.
Recents.
You can have recents.
Documents.
Your documents drop you right into your folder of your documents. If you do Command N and you want to look for something, it'll put you right in your documents folder. So you ain't got to worry about doing Command Shift O.
Desktop.
You can go to your desktop.
Mobile Studio.
Yeah, and that's the name of my home folder, so that's where your music, movies, if you had your documents, that's where they would be shown. But because I have mine in my iCloud Drive, that's where they're shown.
Macintosh HD.
Macintosh HD, you could have to go directly to your computer section.
Stirred Up Studio.
That's the name of my actual whole computer, so it would take me to my sidebar.
Stirred Up Studio.
And that's all your choices.
iCloud Drive. Tick sync desktop and documents folders. Tick box.
All right. I could tell you what that means, but I'm not going to do as good a job as VoiceOver is about to. If I hit the right arrow, you'll hear this.
Your desktop and documents folders are being synced with iCloud Drive. You can also access them from your other devices.
Perfect. VoiceOver gives you all the information if you let him finish, or she, whatever voice you're using. But if you let VoiceOver finish, it will give you all the information that you need.
Tick open folders in tabs instead of new windows. Tick box.
That's a visual thing. I've always left this checked because it suits me just fine. That just means that when you open up a new Finder window or whatever, it will allow them to be side by side versus it being in different windows.
Tick open folders in tabs instead of new windows. Tick box.
And that is your last option. So let's jump back up to the toolbar. Now, if you have a MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, or the Apple Magic Keyboard, you can hold down the function key and the VoiceOver key modifiers, the control and option keys, all three of those together, and hit the right or the left arrow key to go to the top, hit the right arrow to go to the bottom. I don't have that keyboard, so I have a commander, and that's still going to jump me to the top.
Toolbar.
So let's interact with the toolbar with down arrow and right.
In toolbar, tags.
Next is tags. I'm not even going to go there because I don't use tags. You can explore that and see if there's something that you want to look at.
Sidebar.
Sidebar. This is just basically telling you what's in your sidebar. Like if you hit the applications key and then stop to interact and then go to the side. I don't go there.
Actions available.
Whatever's there is there. I don't use it because I use commanders to get to everything, so I don't need the sidebar.
Advanced.
All right, advanced. Let's VO spacebar or up and down arrow together if you're using quick nav and see what's in here.
Advanced selected.
All right, I'm going to stop interacting by hitting left and down arrow together.
Out of toolbar.
And I'm going to hit the right arrow by itself because I'm using quick nav and not the VoiceOver modifier arrow way.
Unticked show all file name extensions. Tick box.
All right, that just tells you that whenever you go to a file, whether it's a Word document, a text file, RTF, music file, movie file, it'll tell you what that extension is. I don't want to hear all that extra stuff, so I have that unchecked.
Ticked show warning before changing an extension. Tick box.
But I do have this one checked. So if you're going to change an extension, whether it be an MP3 to change it to an M4A, so it can be a ringtone on your iPhone or whatever, it's going to warn you. But just know that just because you change the extension doesn't mean that it's going to work. Sometimes you have to convert them files. It just depends on where the source was.
Unticked show warning before removing from iCloud Drive. Tick box.
I have that unchecked because I don't need to know that I'm deleting something from my iCloud Drive. If I'm deleting it, then I know that I'm deleting it. Personal preference.
Ticked show warning before emptying the bin. Tick box.
It says the bin, but it's actually talking about the recycle bin or the trash. I have that checked, I guess. I never unselected it, but as you're about to find out, there's an option to empty your trash every 30 days on your own. I never leave stuff in the trash more than 3 days, so I don't even know why I have this checked, but I do.
Ticked remove items from the bin after 30 days. Tick box.
Exactly.
Keep folders on top.
All right, keep folders on top. This is an interesting one because if you don't keep your folders on top, whatever that folder starts with is where it's going to be located in the list of applications. I have mine checked because I have like 3 or 4 folders and I do want them on top. So this is the checkbox if you want to be your folders to be on top. Now mine is in the applications folder. I think there's an option down here for the desktop, but I don't use the desktop. So let's see.
Ticked in Windows when sorting by name. Tick box.
Yep, so in Windows when sorting by name, which is where my applications folder is.
Unticked on desktop. Tick box.
On desktop, that, as y'all know,
when perform,
I don't use.
Search this Mac when performing a search.
When performing a search, you can have it on this Mac or directly in the folder that you're in.
Search this Mac.
And that is it. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, how you customize your desktop.
Organizing your dock. Organizing your dock is actually quite simple. I mean, it's just a few keystrokes, and it's really not rocket science, for lack of a better term. I'm going to show you how to add and remove things from your dock and to reorganize apps on your dock. Me, myself, I'm not an avid dock user. I'm a commanders user. So if I want an app opened, I hit option, the letter corresponding with it, like the letter C for chat. That opens up my messages app. But that's a topic for another day. So let's go to the dock.
Dock. Time machine.
As you can see, Time Machine is on my dock. I don't even use Time Machine no more. So let's show you how to remove it. VO-Shift-M.
Menu.
You can either arrow down.
Open Time Machine settings ellipsis. Back up now. Stop backing up. Browse other Time Machine disks ellipsis. Remove from dock. Show Time Machine. Remove from dock.
And remove from dock is right there.
Finder. Desktop.
You just push the letter, or you push the enter key, and you're done. Let's go back to the dock.
Dock. Finder.
Finder's always on the dock. I leave it there. It doesn't bother me.
System settings.
System settings. This is a app I don't need. I ain't gonna say I don't use it, because of course I use it. That's where my settings are. But I don't need it on my dock because I have a commander for it.
Actions available.
So again, VO-Shift-M.
Menu.
Now I'm not gonna arrow through these options because it's gonna give me every option that's in the system settings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the letter O.
Options.
And that's gonna give me options. I'm gonna VO right.
Options. Remove from dock.
And there's remove from dock. Hit enter.
Finder. Desktop. Desktop.
And it's gone. Alright, that's pretty simple.
Dock. Finder.
Let's organize some apps now.
Feedback assistant.
Feedback assistant. I'm definitely going to leave that on the dock because I'm a beta tester and I need that where I can find it. But I don't want it at the beginning, so I'm going to hold down the option key.
Actions
and I'm
available.
going to hit the letter, or not that letter. I'm going to hit the arrow, right arrow.
Feedback assistant. Move to the right of file list export. Feedback assistant. Move to the right of GarageBand.
So I moved it to the right of two apps, and now I'm going to let go of option, and now let's see where it's at.
GarageBand. Feedback assistant.
And there it is, right next to GarageBand. Now, say I want to move GarageBand to the first app on my dock.
GarageBand.
I'm on GarageBand, so I'm going to hold down the option key, and I'm going to hit the left arrow.
GarageBand. Move to the left of file list export.
And that's the only place I can move it, because, of course, Finder always stays first, and now it is.
GarageBand. File list export. Separator. GarageBand. Finder. GarageBand.
Yep, Finder, then GarageBand. But I don't use GarageBand that often, so let's remove it from the dock. VO-Shift-M.
Menu.
The letter O.
Options.
Right arrow once.
Options. Remove from dock.
Remove from dock. Hit enter.
Finder. Desktop.
And
Desktop.
it's gone. Now I've showed you how to organize apps and move apps around. Let's show you how to add apps to the dock. Of course, by now you should know to get to the applications key, or to get to the applications list, you hit Command-Shift-A.
Applications window. List view.
I use list view as you see, so I'm going to interact.
List photos application.
And photos is already on my dock, so I can't put it there again.
Podcast application.
What about the podcast app? I don't use it that often, but I'm just for demonstration purposes. I'm going to hold down Shift, Command, Control. Hit the letter T, and you will hear.
Add to dock.
And it's on my dock. Let's add another one. Let's go all the way down here to the bottom.
Kind. Application. Size. Date. Name. Zoom.us application.
Let's put Zoom on the dock. So, Command, Control, Shift, in the letter T, and it will say
Add to dock.
Now, it doesn't matter what order you hold the keys down in, as long as they're all being held down when you hit the letter T. So let's go to the dock and see if these new apps are there.
Dock. Finder. Trash. Downloads. Separator. Zoom.us.
There's Zoom.
Podcast.
And there's Podcast. So bam, it worked. And there, my friends, is how you organized the dock. System settings. Now I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here, because my buddy John Penner Reeves from MacForTheBlind.com has already done an extensive demonstration of where to find apps, how to get to apps, and whatever. I'm just about to show you a couple of things that I do when I first set up my Mac to eliminate me accidentally activating mission control and other shortcuts that are automatically selected. So I actually did a clean install of my Mac about a week or so ago and avoided doing these setup things that I usually do, just so I could do these demonstrations for Beyond the Basics. So let's open up system settings.
System settings. Appearance. Window. Table. Appearance. Selected. Has keyboard focus.
Now the nice thing about system settings now, and I think it was like this before once you was in the table, but now you don't even have to interact. You can do single letter navigation to get to where you want to go. So the area I want to go right now is the keyboard, so I push the letter K.
Keyboard.
and I just jump over to
Keyboard.
the scroll area. It doesn't say that, but it is a scroll area.
Keyboard.
And I'm going to interact here.
In key 4. Keyboard shortcuts.
Keyboard shortcuts is where we want to go. So I'm going to VO spacebar.
Display shortcuts.
Display shortcuts. Again, I don't even have a display connected to my Mac, so I don't need to even bother with those.
Mission control shortcuts.
Mission control. This is where we want to be at. So I'm going to stop interacting and go over to the list of mission control shortcuts.
Vertical to change the shortcut. Double click the key combination and then type the new keys.
Well, you can do that if you want, but I never change them because I don't use them. So let's go into the table.
Table. In table, mission control. Control up arrow. Mission checked. Mission checked. Mission control. Checkbox.
Alright, so it shows that this one is checked, so I'm going to uncheck it.
Unchecked. Show notification center. None.
I don't even know why this is listed in here anymore because Notification Center already has a built-in shortcut as a VoiceOver user anyway. Maybe the sighted community can use this, but we have no need for it.
Turn do not disturb on off. None.
It has turn do not disturb on and off. Again, this is another one that has a built-in shortcut. I think it's F5 or F6. You have to play around with that one. I can't remember. But, I mean, I used to have one set for this, but I don't anymore, as well as Notification Center. But again, there's no need for it because it automatically comes built into Ventura.
Application windows. Control down arrow.
Basically, this will open up an application window, and I know it's checked, so I'm going to uncheck it.
Unchecked. Show desktop. F11.
Show desktop. I don't need it. I know how to get to the dock, so I can uncheck this one.
Unchecked. Turn stage manager on off. None.
I don't use stage manager, and I don't even know if this is on or off, so let's see.
Unchecked.
Yep, it was on, so I'll uncheck that.
Mission control. Collapsed.
And mission control here is collapsed, so let's
Row
expand
7
this
expanded.
a little bit.
Move left to space. Control left arrow.
Move left to space. We don't need control left arrow to do that because it's built into VoiceOver.
Unchecked.
So we uncheck that.
Move right to space. Control right arrow.
Same deal, uncheck it.
Unchecked. Switch to desktop 1. Control 1.
I'm assuming you can have more than one desktop. I don't, so I'm going to uncheck this one. Even though these are things that I never do, I just don't want to accidentally activate them.
Checked.
That was already unchecked, so let's uncheck it again.
Quick note. Globe symbol with meridians. Q.
Now, this is an interesting one. This is where you would activate a quick note. It's saying globe symbol, and I'm assuming it's the letter Q. It's the globe symbol, which is your function key, for lack of a better term, and the letter Q will automatically launch quick notes. I don't actually use quick notes. I think it does work, though, because I tried it before when I first was beta testing Ventura last year.
Quick note. Globe symbol. Window spot word. Character navigation. Quick note. Globe.
And that is the last one in this category, so we can stop interacting.
To change the vertical splitter. Table. Mission. In table. Keyboard shortcuts.
Alright, keyboard shortcuts. Let's stop interacting here. And go back to the
Vertical
table.
to change the shortcut. Table. It changed the way tab moves focus. Control F7.
Now, this is where mission control and stuff would automatically be activated, so I don't know if this is checked or not.
Unchecked.
Yep, it was checked, so I'll uncheck that.
Turn keyboard access on or off. Control F1.
I don't need that, so I'm turning it off.
Unchecked. Move focus to the menu bar. Control F2.
Control F2. This might be one I might want to keep, and anybody else might want to keep, because it just said...
Move focus to the menu bar. Control F2.
Well, I mean, we can move to the menu bar with VOM, so I'll uncheck this. This is personal preference. I'm just showing you things that I do when I first set up my Mac.
Unchecked. Move focus to the dock. Control F3.
And we don't need that because you can VOD for the dock, so I uncheck this. It's up to you if you want to use...
Move focus to the dock. Control F3.
Control F3 will do that for you, as long as your function keys are selected as standard function keys.
Unchecked. Move focus to active or next window. Control F4.
That's another personal preference. It just said if you want to move to the active app, Control F4. I don't use that, so I will uncheck it.
Unchecked. Move focus to the window toolbar. Control F5.
This is interesting. Control F5 will move you to the toolbar. So instead of having to VO across a lot of information, I guess you can just hit Control F5 and it'll do that. Let's see with
Unchecked. Checked.
I'm going to leave mine checked and play with that a little bit and see how it works out.
Move focus to the floating window. Control F6.
Floating windows, I know nothing about, so I'm going to uncheck that one.
Unchecked. Move focus to next window. Command.
Now, it says Command Accent, and this is the one I used to accidentally uncheck. But you want this because you want to be able to toggle between open windows or tabs, whether you're on Safari or working within Finder. So let me make sure this one is checked.
Unchecked.
Yeah, it was checked, so
Checked.
we're going to leave that one checked.
Move focus to status menus. Control F8.
Status menus, F8. I don't use that either, so
Unchecked. Move focus to status menu.
And that's all that's in that one.
Add to change the vertical split table. Keyboard in table. Input sources shortcuts.
Input, I'm not even messing with that. I never mess with stuff that I don't need. I don't even mess with.
Screenshot shortcuts.
Screenshot shortcuts, you can go in there and explore how to do a screenshot. I leave all those checked because usually sometimes developers or people want to see a screenshot of something. So like if you're having an issue with something, like my buddies over at Roboneba that make the audio hijack and Farrago and loopback apps, sometimes they want a screenshot of what I'm doing, so I'll screenshot it to them and send that. So I leave those alone.
Services shortcuts.
Services shortcut, again, something I don't use, so I don't go into it.
Spotlight shortcuts.
Spotlight I cannot stand on the phone, iPad or phone or Mac, so I do not mess with those. I might want to go in there and actually turn it off so it doesn't activate Spotlight, but I'll do that later.
Accessibility shortcuts.
Accessibility shortcuts, that's all that's really in there is telling you how to turn VoiceOver on and off, and if you want to use sticky keys. Really no need to go in there.
Application shortcuts.
Application shortcuts. Now this is the one that I wanted to show you because this is where you can customize and create shortcuts within apps. So let's go over here and see what I have created already.
Add verticals to change the short table. Into all applications. Collapsed. Mail. Collapsed.
So I have a mail shortcut. Let's see what it is.
Mail. Collapsed. Mail. Collapsed.
Oh,
Mail
I
to
gotta collapse it.
expanded. Save attachments. Save attachments. Option Command C.
Alright, I actually got to change this because I want it to be Command Shift A. Or Command Option A, I should say. But the bottom line is, when I'm in Mail, if you go into the File menu, there's an option to save attachments, but there's no shortcut key for it. So I created a shortcut key for it. I'll show you how to do that in a minute.
Add tape. Add. Remove. Done. Done. Remove. Add. Table. Save table. Save attachments. Option Command C.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to delete it so I can show you how it goes. Okay.
Add. Remove.
I got to remove
to change
it.
the shortcut table. Add.
Alright, so I'm going to add a shortcut.
7 items. Application. All applications. Application.
Now I have to pick the application I want to apply to, which is going to be Mail. So I'm going to VO spacebar into this pop-up.
Menu checkmark. All applications.
Hit the letter M.
Mac Daily News. Mail.
And here's Mail.
Mail. Application. Menu title.
Menu title. Now this has to be exactly what I wanted to do. In this case, it's going to be Save Attachments.
Menu title. Edit text.
And let me write that out because it used to let you paste it, but it doesn't anymore.
Save.
And I have to add an
Attachments.
ellipsis. I have to add an ellipsis at the end of it, and in order to do that, you hold down Option and hit the colon.
Ellipsis.
And
Enter the exact name of the menu command you want to add.
yep, I just told you that. Now the next step is going to be to tell it what keys to push when I want to do Save Attachments.
Keyboard shortcut.
So I'm going to hold down Option, Control, or no, I'm sorry, Command Op. What is it? Yeah. Command Option and the letter A is how I want this one set.
Option Command A. Selected. Cancel.
And I want to hit Save.
Done.
Or Done.
Add.
Now let's jump over here to Mail.
Text edit. Untitled. System setting. Mail. Mail.
Alright, let's see if it's in the File menu now.
Menu bar. Apple. Mail. File. Mail. File. File. New viewer. Open messages. Command. Close command. Double. Save command. Save as ellipsis. Attach files ellipsis. Save attachments ellipsis. Command Option A.
And there it is. It says Save Attachments. Command Option A. That was not there before.
Mailboxes.
Alright, now.
Quit mail. Text edit.
There is an instance where
Select all.
you can
System settings. System setting.
have a shortcut key apply to all applications. For instance, there is a feature in Text Edit, Pages, and another app I can't think of right now. Keynote. What's another one? Anyways, those are the main ones that I use. But there's an option in there to move to. So you can move that document or project to a folder while you're working on it. So you can save it to that folder automatically. And instead of creating a shortcut for each of those apps, I can have this shortcut applied to all those applications. So let's go to Add.
Remove. Done. Remove. Add. Add.
So I'm going to add. I'm going to hit Add. And make sure all applications is selected.
Application. Application. All applications.
All right, all applications is selected.
Menu title.
And this is, of course, where I want to type what the menu title or what I want this thing to do.
Menu title. Edit text.
So I'm going to type move
to,
and of course
to.
I think there's an ellipsis. So Option colon
ellipsis. Enter the exact name of keyboard shortcut.
Keyboard shortcut will be Command Option. No, we'll make it S. Command Option S.
Option Command S. Selected.
Because technically you're saving it in another location. So we made it Command Option S.
Cancel. Done.
And we'll hit done.
Add.
And let's go over here to text edit and see what happens.
Text edit. Text edit. Up.
VOM.
Menu bar. Apple.
File menu.
Tag file.
And let's see if Move To has a shortcut key now.
File. New command N. Open ellipsis command O. Open recent. Close command W. Save ellipsis command S. Duplicate command Shift S. Rename ellipsis. Move to ellipsis command Option S.
And there it is. Move to Command Option S. And it's as simple as that to making custom shortcuts. So there you go. That's how you make application shortcuts. You can make it specific to one app like I did with Mail. I need to add another one to send it an address book. And then you can make one that's global let me show you that it actually works in Pages. Let me see, because now remember I did all applications. Let's launch Pages.
Pages. Open window. Left.
Let's just act like
keyboard foot window.
Act like we're going to make a new document, which I just did Command N, and let's go to the File menu.
Menu bar. App page. File.
File.
File. New open ellipsis. Open recent. Close command. Save command. Duplicate command. Rename ellipsis. Move to ellipsis command Option S.
And there it is. Command Option S. It worked in Pages also.
Setting.
All right, so let's open up Keynote and show you that it does it there also.
Keynote. Open window.
Don't know why it took that lap so long to open, but anyway, let's act like we're doing a new presentation.
Window. Collection.
Now let's go to the File menu.
Bar, Apple. Keynote. File. File. New open ellipsis. Open close save command. Save as duplicate command Shift. Rename ellipsis. Move to ellipsis command Option S.
And there it is. Command Option S. So as you can see, that shortcut that I created for all applications works in all the apps.
Collection. System settings.
And let's see what is left.
Accessibility shortcuts. Application shortcuts.
We got the application shortcuts, what we just did.
Function keys.
Function keys, that basically just asks you if you want to use function keys as standard function keys, so you check or uncheck that box.
Modifier keys.
Modifier keys, again, same thing. Control Option Command wants to know what you want this function to be.
Modifier keys.
And that is the last one. So there, my friends, is what I wanted to show you with some recommended settings from what I use and how to create application-specific shortcuts.
And now, enjoy this Mac for the Blind Rewind, brought to you by Stir It Up Studios and TTJ Tech Services.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is the notification center. This is the bane of some people's existence in terms of how Apple has changed things. So the notification center is the wonderful thing that bugs you. A lot of times you'll hear from your Mac that you get notified that there's a software update available. Login items is just letting you know that stuff has been added to the login items when you install a new app. So these notifications can come with news, all kinds of crazy stuff. Now, sometimes you're lucky, and when your VoiceOver cursor is right there in the notification, but most of the time that's not the case. So here's how you handle active notifications, and I'm going to talk about the notification center after that. So if you need to go look at what is actually bugging you, if you do a Control Option N.
Notifications menu, one item.
So I only have one item here. So if I VO down arrow.
Login items.
The login items message. So if I want to do anything to a notification, I have to activate the action menu with VO command spacebar. Come on, buddy. Oh, actually, you got a VO space first.
Notification center.
And then you can
actions menu, 3 items.
Do the action menu.
Close.
There's close.
Show details.
Show details.
Press.
And press.
Show close.
So if I just do
close, Finder,
it will close out that notification and it won't bug you again. But if you want to kind of see your overall list of notifications, edit notification center, etc., if you do a VOO.
Notification center, window, list.
So then it has the list of my
you are currently on a list.
Notifications. You have to interact
in
with
list
it.
disk, not messages. Michelle Peter messages stacked. 26 more notifications button.
So I can expand and see the other.
You are currently on the button
here. I have a message from a couple of my friends checking up on me, and we have some other news-related stuff and weather, etc. So that's how you would interact with the list, and then you could see the notifications. Now you can
close button options pop up close but options pop up close Michelle P show me close out of messages messages stack 6 more out of list What's
Get out of
new?
this list.
Place widgets directly on the desktop. Group. Edit widgets button.
If you tab, you'll come to
You are currently on the button.
your widgets.
To click this
so you can edit your widgets if you want to add or remove anything from Notification Center widgets. So, like I said, we have our edit
List.
button, and you have the list of the
What's
widgets.
new? List. Message. 6 more
Oh,
out
it's
of
back
list.
I circled back around to my list again.
Edit widgets. Place widgets directly on the desktop and add your iPhone widgets.
Yeah, so it tells you all these
Edit
things.
widgets. Search widgets. Search text field of available widgets. Group.
So then you have the available widgets.
Hit audible button.
So if I interact there,
You are currently on the
VO arrow.
Batteries button. Calendar button. Clock button. Contacts button. Dictionary button. Find my button.
So these are the different ones I can add.
You are
to
currently
my
on the button. Out of
notifications if
available
I'd like.
widgets. Search widgets. Search done. Buttons. Close banner. What's new? Place widgets direct suggestions. Small. Clock eye. Small.
Oh, then they have the size and
Small.
stuff.
Month. Large. Small.
Your
One
internet
update.
connection isn't stable.
Zoom.us.
If you want a really good comprehensive
One updated item.
demonstration of how to edit the widgets, I don't like to reinvent the wheel because I sat in on the session that Matt and Cliff did, and Matt did a great job of explaining. And as I said, if you do a search on the internet for, Notification Center in the Mac, there's a Indian gentleman, a doctor, who did a demonstration, a quick demo on YouTube, and he does a really, really, really good job. I was very impressed actually by him, how well he did it. So the point here, the overall thing with Notification Center is you have full control over notifications in the Notification Center. You can also go into system settings under notifications, and point being that you have full control, because and the reason why I bring this up is I get a lot of complaints either directly through clients I'm working with, former clients, or people who just drop me emails through the website or whatever. And the Notification Center tends to be one of those things that drives people crazy because you get all these notifications that pile up and you don't know how to handle them. And just by doing the VON at least gives you a start where you can go up and down the list. You VO space to activate the specific notification you want to attend to. And then if you want options for that notification, you do Control Option Command Spacebar to activate the action menu. Now understand that certain notifications are very easy. You can just clear them or deal with them right on the spot. Other notifications might take you into apps or might take you into system settings to make some kind of a selection on how you want to deal with that notification. For example, if you do software update, it's going to take you into settings under general for software updates, and then you can decide whether you want to do the update now or defer it to, later in the day, overnight, whatever, or, just close it out completely. So other notifications, you may have to interact with a scroll area and use your VO left and VO right arrow to find out what that notification is and how to specifically deal with that notification. And that's an area that can get a little dicey for some users too, especially if the scroll area and the stuff is not very accessible. So again, I hate to always come back to this, but as blind people, we're often at the mercy of developers. So it's hard to say, whether what the scroll area, how accessible. Most things tend to be accessible from my experience. So that's the good news. But then again, I don't tend to go and download all kinds of stuff that usually I deny stuff that's going to go into the Notification Center when I install it, only because I only want to get notified of stuff that's important to me. I don't want every app under the sun providing me with notifications that are meaningless to me. And then you can get a little crazy. I'm going a little outside of the realm here, but you can even under Safari settings, you can actually have certain websites have contact with the Notification Center to bring you updates. So for example, Apple Insider, Macworld, PC Magazine, etc. Anything that might be of interest to you. I have a couple of sports websites that will actually give me notifications through the Notification Center. And again, you have full control though. When you're in Safari settings, you go on the website settings and you can control whether you want, if it's available, if that website wants to provide you with some kind of a notification. A lot of times when you go on a website that has that feature, you'll get hit with it right away. So you'll have to make that decision, whether you want to have the notifications be allowed to be shown on your Mac or whether you deny them. You can change it later. It's not permanent. So, like I said, I have it with a couple of Apple websites, a couple of sports websites, technology websites that I like to hear the headlines, especially when Apple and Microsoft and Google and that all are starting, they have some kind of announcement, thing going on. So, for example, WWDC for Apple and their keynote address, that kind of thing. So, Notification Center is not the big bad dinosaur that people pretend or want to, say it is. That it just amazes me sometimes how some blind users will, if they can't figure out how to use something in 15 minutes, they tell the rest of the world it's not accessible because they can't figure it out. And I'm a geek, a self-professed, whatever you want to call it, self-proud, whatever, geek. So I'm the type of person that 15 minutes is not enough for me to decide something's inaccessible. As Trish tells me, I'm like a dog with a bone when it comes to technology. When something's not working, I'll spend literally hours trying to figure out how to get it to work before I will throw out, wave the white flag and surrender on accessibility. So the other thing is Control Center. Now, Control Center, again, is completely customizable to the VoiceOver user. So you can check out, your Control Center, and then you can go into system settings and you can kind of select or deselect things that you want in your Control Center. So Control Option Shift O. Control Option O is the Notification Center. Shift Control Option O is Control Center.
Application, Control Center, System Dialog, Display, Sound, Music.app.
So I currently have some stuff already in my Control
Music.app, Image, AirPlay Audio, Toggle 100% Sound.
Let me go to the beginning here.
Zoom.us, Wi-Fi, selected, Toggle button. Do not disturb, selected, Toggle button.
So as you see, it says selected
Actions
toggle
available.
button, meaning that if I VO space on these buttons, I can choose to, turn them on or turn off quickly from the Control Center.
Wi-Fi, selected, Toggle button.
It's on, selected.
Do not disturb.
Do not disturb is currently on.
Bluetooth, selected, Toggle button.
Bluetooth is on, obviously, because I have a Braille display in my keyboard.
AirDrop, selected, Toggle button.
And then AirDrop is available to me if
Actions
I need
available,
to.
Stage Manager, Toggle button.
Now, Stage Manager is off.
Actions
It
available.
didn't say selected.
Screen mirroring, Toggle button.
So screen mirroring is toggled, and that's
Actions
not.
display,
And then display.
45.6%. Display brightness, slider.
So I can actually manipulate my sliders.
You are currently on a slider. In slider.
So if I interact,
50%, 55%, 50, 45%.
and I'll stop interacting.
Out of slot. Sound,
Sound.
100%. Sound
So
volume,
my volume's
slider.
already up, but again, I can manipulate this. very
Actions available.
easily.
AirPlay Audio, Image, Music.app.
So it's telling me AirPlay
Actions
audio.
available.
The last thing I was doing was the music app.
Play, next, dimmed button, play, button.
So we have the buttons to control that.
Actions
So
available.
all of
You are currently on the
this is great access for anything that you need to hit quickly in the control
Next, dim 100 per microphone, image, zoom.us. Wi-Fi, selected,
center.
top.
And we're back to Wi-Fi because I have it set to go back around again, wrap around in navigation settings under VoiceOver utility. So those are the current things that are in my control center. You notice it's very limited. On the Mac, I have a lot more stuff in the control center on my iPhone than I typically do on my Mac. So the way you would kind of add and remove stuff in the control center, believe it or not,
One updated.
you got to go to system settings, which I will command tab over. So I'm going to go down to
Accessibility controls, Syrian Spotlight, Control Center. Out of verticals, Control Center in heading. These modules are always visible in Control
So
Center.
when you have Control Center, you interact with the settings, you go to the Control Center item in the sidebar, you stop interacting, you VO right arrow, and then you interact with the scroll area to the right. So if you can visualize the system settings, the left-hand side is the sidebar, there's a splitter, and then the right-hand side is directly related to what setting you've chosen on the left. And I did a lesson on this, I believe it was last meeting, that was in a lot more detail. So I'm going to interact
Wi-Fi.
here.
Show in menu bar, Wi-Fi pop-up button.
So here's your options.
You
where
are
can
currently on a
have
pop-up button.
Things to show or deselect them.
Bluetooth. Show in menu bar, Bluetooth AirDrop. Don't show in menu bar, AirDrop pop-up button.
Okay, so at the moment, if I wanted
You are
this
current
to,
menu. Show in menu bar, Show
I
in
just
menu.
VO space, I VO down arrow to show in menu bar. So now I will have that
Focus.
there.
Your internet connection isn't
When
stable.
we have
Show
focus.
Show when active. Focus. Pop-up button.
Yeah, so show when active, which is what I want.
You are currently a stage manager. Don't show in menu bar. Stage
I'm
manager.
gonna leave
Pop-up.
that out of my menu
Screen
bar.
mirroring. Show when active. Display. Show when active. Sound. Show when active.
So I'm just
Sound.
VO
Pop
right
now
arrow
playing.
here.
Show when active. Heading. Other modules.
Now here are the other modules.
Heading. These modules can be added to Control Center and the menu bar. Accessibility shortcuts. Show in menu bar. Show in menu bar. Off switch.
So I could turn this on.
Show in Control Center. Show in Control Center. Off switch.
So I could just VO space on any of these.
You are currently on a
toggles,
switch.
and this would, place the module in my control center or leave it, out of it like it is now.
Battery. Show in menu bar. Show in menu bar. On switch.
So battery is on because I always
Show in
want that.
control. Show in Control Center. On switch.
So I always leave battery.
Show percentage. Show percentage. On switch.
So if you just keep VO right
Music
arrow,
recognition. Show in menu bar. Show in menu bar. Off switch.
So music recognition I don't normally do.
You
on
are
my
show in
Mac.
controls. Show in control center. Show in hearing.
And this is all the hearing stuff.
Show in
People
menu
who have
bar.
Hearing impairments.
Show in menu bar. Off switch.
So this would be like if you have a Bluetooth.
You are currently on.
Hearing aids that you want to have connected to your Mac. You can
Show in
that
control
just like
center.
you can do with the
Show in
phone-
control
the
center.
iPhone.
Off switch. Fast user switch. Show in menu bar. Don't show. Show in menu bar.
Fast user switching is only good if you are sharing the Mac with another person. So what that allows you to do, not to get into like significant detail here, but a person can temporarily log out of a Mac in fast user switching to allow another person to use the Mac. Now, what happens is your session is not closed. It's in background. It's just that, the apps that you're running are, separated from the next person. Now, there is some contention issues that will happen usually with third-party apps, but all the Apple apps, like let's say, for example, I'm sharing, I jump off and I allow Cliff to jump onto the Mac, and we both like to listen to music, for example. So I might have my music playing one particular song. When he logs in and he wants to start music, it's a separate incident. But there are third-party apps out there that will tell you if somebody else is already logged in using that app, it will tell you that you can't access that app. Sometimes that happens with printers and scanners if they're being used by the user who is on still in background. You can't access that printer or that, or the other devices until that person logs out. But that only happens with non-compatible apps with
Show. Don't show. Show in control center. Don't show in fast user switching.
Fast user switching options. Now, the only thing I got to warn you about fast using is disks. I know this is going a little bit aside from Control Center, but I do have to bring this up because I've seen this happen to a few people. When you have a disk connected and it's your disk, let's say it's your private files, if you have that disk connected and you fast user switch with somebody, that person that jumps on to use the computer will have access to that drive. So the only time that's different is network shares. Network shares, the user who is using the network share is completely removed. If the next person comes in, they can access that same drive because of the way it's set up. But with external drives, the privacy thing goes out the window. So just keep that in mind that if you have a drive filled with personal files and you are going to allow somebody to use the computer, I would probably eject the drive and then reconnect it when, you jump back into to use the system. So fast user switching is sometimes understood. It's really useful in school and family situations. But again, remember that the person that, hands over the computer is still logged in. So if there's anything that has to be done for updating the computer where it has to reboot, that person has to be around to put their password in, or the administrator will just have to force restart the computer. Now, the problem with restarting the computer is if they had an open word processor document, or they were doing something, editing, maybe in Audacity or Audio Hijack, whatever, GarageBand, that stuff is lost because, the user is technically being forced out of the computer. So just be very careful if you're somebody who oversees other users, that you're not like kicking them off the computer before they can save changes to their stuff. Most Apple apps are forgiving, and because they use the autosave feature, that's usually, and I'm doing air quotes, not necessary, but don't count on it for everything, because you will get a warning about, stuff being, lost, your changes won't be saved, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just like a standard thing that happens with the Mac when you're trying to, force restart when there are people signed in. This happens in school environments and work environments and stuff more than obviously the private, user, but like I said, I've worked with clients in households where the kids are constantly wanting to, I got to check my mail. I got to check this. I got to check that. And, the person who's using the computer will just step aside and use fast user switching to allow them to do their 5 minutes or whatever they want to do. So it is useful. But, Control Center has a lot of options to
Show and menu. Don't show. Show and keyboard brightness.
So there's a lot of things that you can
You are
choose
currently
from that can or may not be useful or usable to you as the user. So, you do have complete control over what it is that you want to have available to you in Control Center. And just remember, I can't tell you how many people I work with who never bother with Control Center, never go into Notification Center at all. And it kind of baffles me because Control Center can give you quick access to a lot of different things to make your life a lot easier instead of like having to hunt out the apps or find the feature itself. So that's why, for example, I have, do not focus and Wi-Fi and stuff like that right in the Control Center, as well as the now playing stuff. But my Control Center is probably going to be a lot sparser occupied than maybe other users who want to put 8,000 other things. Like I said, my Control Center on my iPhone is completely different. I have probably at least a dozen more things in my Control Center on the phone that I access than I do on the Mac. But that's just personal preference. My point behind, this lesson is to show you that, all of this stuff is available and that it is completely accessible, to the average user here. So I would definitely take a look at both the Control Center and the notification centers and, take the time to customize them and, make them yours. It's funny how I have worked with people who've been Mac users for a few years and they don't use everything. It's just amazing to me that there's so many things, that features and options that you have that people either don't know exist or they're just afraid to. That's the one thing I also notice about some situations is clients that are afraid to do things on their own computer because they think they're going to break it, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, no, you don't have to worry about that. The Mac is, the Mac is designed as a consumer product. It's easy to use, and Apple designed it in a way in which the
Your
average
internet
user
connection
can't
isn't stable.
Zoom.
necessarily blow up their Mac. Are there ways you can screw up somebody's Mac? Yeah, there's a few backdoor ways if you know what you're doing, but it's designed that the average consumer is not accidentally going to, render their computer completely useless to them. Let me put it this way. In my personal experience, and this is not a knock, I'm not bashing, but it's much easier to screw up a PC and make it unusable compared to a Mac person. And believe me, I've done it. I've screwed up my PC on 2 occasions way back in the day when I didn't really know what I was doing and had no clue what some of the stuff meant. I didn't know what DLL files were at the time. And I stupidly thought it was like just trash files that were in my root directory in Windows. And it ended up being DLL files that were, for the operating system. So when the next time I rebooted the computer, those DLL files weren't there. So of course, Windows had to be reinstalled. And that's the hard lessons you learn. On a Mac, you don't have access to system settings, system preferences and stuff that could actually affect the computer itself, thanks to things like SIP, system integrity protection. Features like that make it, that even if you're an administrator, you don't have access to certain parts of the operating system unless you go into terminal, and you have to be a comfortable Unix person probably to be able to even affect stuff by way of terminal. And I've been asked, by the way, as a side note, to do a demonstration on terminal, but I have to defer because I know enough to be dangerous in terminal. I can teach people basic things, to look at your directories, to change folders, etc. But if I have to do anything personally that is involved in terminal, I cut and paste quotes from websites that explain. And I just make sure it's typed out as it shows in the example, and then I run it that way. Because I don't necessarily trust all of those different signs and punctuation stuff that you often have to do at the terminal, at the command line level to make any changes to the system.
Stir it up. All right, thanks for my mentor, good friend, the late great John Pennereese in that demonstration. Like I told you guys before, there's already 3 episodes that came before the 2 that you've heard. If you haven't listened to those, you need to go back because there's things that John covered that I'm not going to reinvent the wheel on. He knows what he's talking about, and not much has changed since he recorded those. So, if you haven't listened to them, go back to the More with the Mac page on stiritup.com and listen to those 3 episodes. Anyway, a couple things. I don't keep messages in my notification center. Why? Because I'm usually on my Mac, and if you listen to the portion of where I customize my notifications, I can still get sounds and I can still get banners. So to me, there's no need to have that in my notification center on my Mac. It's actually not in my notification center on my iPhone or my iPad either. Annoying, because 9 times out of 10, I'm checking my messages in my mail more than I'm checking anything. But one thing that was not there in notification center a year or so ago that is there now is that you can clear all with one pop-up. So let me open the notification center.
Notification center.
All right, here's my notification center. And as I discussed, it was either earlier this episode or last episode. Yeah, it was earlier this episode that I told you about iPhone mirroring. And a lot of these notifications came from iPhone mirroring because my phone is connected to my Mac when it's at home. We're not connected to it, but the notifications come to it because it's mirroring with on my iPhone. So I get those notifications in my notification center on my Mac. So
TikTok, Uber Eats.
Yeah, I got a TikTok account, don't judge me. Anyways, so I can go over here all the way to the end. As I told you before, I have a commander for it. We'll be going over that later on down the line. And excuse my sinuses are still bothering me, but I'm getting through it. But anyways, we're going to jump to the end.
Clear notifications.
And there you say, clear notifications. He doesn't say it. Probably because of the verbosity that I have set, and we'll go over that in VoiceOver utility here probably in the next episode. But it's a pop-up. So I'm going to VO spacebar.
7 Bible, Facebook, click notification, clear all.
Yep, here we go. Here's clear all.
Scroll area.
And it just cleared them. So again, you can look at all your notifications, go into your system settings and set how you want to hear notifications. There's options like banners, sounds, none, continuous, stuff like that. I went over that already earlier.
TTJ Tech.
All right, to wrap up this week's session, we got our buddy from ttjtech.biz. Looks like I got enough practice with that. That's right. We're going to have him go over because, number 1, I don't use Spotlight, and number 2, I don't like it. So I'm going to have him go over on how to use it, and plus there's some new features built into macOS 26 Tahoe this year. So take it away, Matt.
All right, well, great to be here once again. More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. You've already learned a lot today. We've been talking about organizing the dock, the desktop, different ways of doing that. I discovered this new feature when I was looking at the new apps menu, we'll call it, for lack of a better term. That has kind of replaced the Launchpad. There was a feature called Launchpad that was like a full screen grid of apps, and Apple got rid of that in favor of this new apps option. You can find it in the dock. You can find it in the applications folder as well, I do believe. But let me just open my dock. Of course, you know that's VOD.
Dock. Safari.
And I'll use the VO left or VO right arrows here like we've been doing. And
Apps,
there it is.
Finder.
Did you hear that?
Apps, 2 of 30.
Now, normally when I open my apps, I use the Macintosh HD, you'll remember, or I use the Command-Shift-A to quickly get to the applications folder, and sometimes I'll use my dock as well. Of course, Trainer Cliff does it all with the what used to be called commanders, or commands now, I suppose. But I thought I want to check this out and see what it's like. So let's check it out together. When I press VO space on apps, this is what we're going to hear.
App, Spotlight, Spotlight, Window, Back.
Okay,
button.
so right away, what you notice is that it says Spotlight, which tells us that this apps menu is sort of an extension of the Spotlight search feature. And we're going to learn more about Spotlight in a few minutes. But let's start out first by learning how to use this apps screen. What you'll notice is that these apps are put into categories automatically by macOS, and it's kind of like the app library on our iPhones or our iPads. So let's VO right arrow and see what we're talking about here.
Applications search text field blank.
So right away, we see that I can search for something if I want to open notes, or if I want to open pages, or maybe play me a game of chess. I can search for those things and we'll find them. But let's pretend we're not going to do that. We're actually going to keep moving with the VO right arrow.
More button.
And we will look at that a little bit later, possibly.
Scroll area.
Okay.
Collection.
Then there's collection. So
Collection.
we've got scroll area and we've got collection. Now, our students know by now, if you hear one of those things, you can probably interact with both of those, right? So let's go back to the scroll area and interact with that. VO shift down arrow, of course. Let's
Scroll area.
see what's inside that.
In scroll area, 8 items utilities button.
All right. Let's go to the right.
Utilities, social, but productivity and finance button, creativity button, entertainment button, arcade button, information and reading, other button, other
Okay.
button.
Those are the categories we hear right now. Now let's stop interacting
Out of scroll area,
and let's go to the right again.
collection.
And there's collection. Let's interact with that.
In collection, section, 6 items. Section, 6 items.
All right, now
Section, 20 items.
listen to those. That we're going to have to interact with those possibly.
Utilities, section, utilities,
All right, so this,
section,
Let's
6 items.
let's interact with that section.
In section, 6 items Safari, cell 2 items, Zoom.us, music, EA app, video converter X, empty.
Okay, so these are probably recent apps. It doesn't say, but those sound like apps that I've opened recently because I had Safari open, I had music open, my daughter was using the Electronic Arts game apps app, and so those sound like things we've had open recently. Let's stop interacting and
Out of section,
see what this next one is.
section,
All right, this one has 20 items if we interact with it.
in section, Affinity Designer 2, Affinity Photo 2, Affinity Publisher 2, Airy, Amber, App Store, Apple Configurator, Automator, Books, Calculator, Calendar, Chatbot, Chess, Classroom.
This looks like an alphabetical list of all of my apps. And presumably I could type the first couple of letters of an app's name to be taken directly to it, although I've never done that in the in this particular screen, so we're going to try that together. Let's type a K and an E.
Key insertion at end of text.
Okay, so what we just learned is I don't know everything. In case we weren't sure of that, Cliff's always happy to remind me. But as we proved, it didn't actually take us to the apps that start with the letter K-E. Instead, it moved us to the search field that we saw a few minutes ago, and it inserted those characters in the search field. So now if I were to VO right arrow, I can assume
More, but scroll area, collection, 1,
that notice,
collection, 1 item selected.
I'll bet that that's going to be Keynote if we interact.
In section, keychain access, keynote, cell 2 item, keynote.
And so you had two things there, Keynote and Keychain Access. So basically, it doesn't do quite what it does in folders where typing the first few letters automatically places you on that item. But what it does do is it inserts those few letters into the edit field, and then your search results are narrowed. So let's delete. Let's stop interacting.
Out of collection,
Go VO left arrow.
more, but key, content,
Let's delete that.
key,
Now, let's look
Collection.
at this. Let's look at this more button while we're right here.
collection,
Um,
scroll area, more, button, menu, 3 items. View content as dimmed. Checkmark grid. List. List. List.
Okay,
list.
and that's it.
List.
So what we're allowed to do here is we're able to see the content as a grid or a list. And now notice if I hit the escape key,
Closing menu.
notice that we can go back to the right again.
Scroll area.
Let's take one more look at this,
In scroll area.
because we have categories here.
Social, but productivity and finance. Creativity, but
So let's say I want to see the creativity apps. I'll VO spacebar on that.
embedded creativity. Attach text. Insertion at end of text.
All right, let's
Search text field.
go to the right.
More, but collection. Collection.
Interact with that.
In section Logic Pro, Freeform, Image Capture, Photos, Final Cut Pro, Fontbook, iMovie, Airy, Affinity Photo 2, Digital Color Meter, Digital.
So it's put the apps that fit into that category into this collection. So if I stop interacting
Out of collection.
and I go back to the left,
More, but embedded creativity. Attach text. Contents selected. Search text field.
notice what it's done. It's put the word creativity into that search field for me, so I can delete that, and it will.
Applications. Search text field. Blank.
It's empty now.
More. Scroll area. Collection.
Now we have our full
Scroll area.
list of options again. And I thought that there was even a way, but I would have to go through the settings again to be honest with you, but I'm pretty sure you can even have this display your iPhone apps as well right here in the Spotlight search, but we will look at that later. If we want to open any of these apps, of course, we just VO space on it. So let's just go over here
Collection.
and let's just...
In section 25 items. In section Affinity Photo 2. Affinity Public. Airy. Amber. App Store. Apple Configure.
let's just open...
Automate. Books. Cell Calculator.
Let's just open the calculator. So I'll just VO space on it. And while we are doing that, I'm going to show you a shortcut to get back to that screen. If you want to get right back there, you can open your Spotlight with Command Spacebar.
Spotlight. 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 Search.
Now we can press Command 1 to get to the Apps section of Spotlight. Now,
More. Scroll area. More applications. Search text field.
so we're back in that again.
Collection. In section 20 items. In Affinity Airy. Amber. App Store. Apple Config. Automate. Books. Calculator. Sell 2 items.
All right, let's see. It says sell 2 items. Let's interact with that.
In calculator. Calculator. Calc image.
All right, we're really on calculator.
Calculator.
Shouldn't have opened Safari. Let's try it again. VO space.
Finder. Desktop. Lazy. Volume. Calculator. Calculator. Window. 0. Edit field.
But now we're in our calculator, and we can.
Left to right mark 2. Left to right mark 2. 8. Left to right mark 2. 8. Left to right mark times. Left to right mark 1. 4. 0. Result 140.
28 times 5. We can press escape.
Left to right
and
mark
we'll clear
0.
that. Now there's ways you can customize this calculator app if I don't like the way that's reading. In the menu bar.
Apple calculator about service hide other show all quit calculator command Q.
All these options, just like any other app, we've got a menu bar.
Edit view window help edit
We can always
paste
there used
delete
to be some
scientific
some speech options in here, but notice
check mark basic command
basic and scientific
command 2
right
programmer command convert command options
programmer conversion calculator
RPN
so all of these things, but we're going to just go ahead and get out of this
closing menu
with Command W.
Finder desktop
And let's return to Spotlight.
Spotlight search.
Now again, I did that by pressing Command Spacebar. And one of the things I told you is that pressing Command 1 will quickly take you to the Apps section of Spotlight, which is the very same thing that happens if you go to the dock and choose Apps from there. What I want to show you now is that there are other things that you can do with Spotlight Search. So we are right now in an edit field. Let's do VO right arrow to see what our choices are.
Applications button. Files button. Actions button. Clipboard button.
Okay, so there are 4 choices there. Applications is Command 1. Files is Command 2.
Actions
Actions is Command 3. And of course, the clipboard, which allows you to search your clipboard history, is Command 4. Now, right where I am now,
At clipboard 4. Spotlight applications button applications search text field blank.
it's in the applications.
Spotlight search text field blank.
Now, that time it just said Spotlight search. So I think I could type some other things in here besides applications, because when I first get into Spotlight, I can, if I do the command space to open it, I can type, for example, let's do a conversion.
Spotlight.
Let's do, let's try like 8 cups to pints. I'll type
8 S O2 ITS pints.
All right. Let's press the down arrow.
Collection 1 item
It's 1
selected.
o'clock.
Convert 8 cups to pints. AskNumbers.com cup to pint. Cups to pints. Sell 6 items.
All right. It says sell 6 items. I wonder if I interact with that if I've already got the answer.
In collection can convert 8 pints to cups. Convert 8 cups to pints. AskNumbers.com cup to pint. Cups to pints. Sell 6 items. In convert 8 cups to image. Convert 8 cups to pints. Image. AskNumbers.com. Convert 8 cups to pints.
So it looks like we'd have to actually choose that option if we want to do it.
Ask number. Convert 8 cups to pints.
But
Convert 8 pints to cups.
You have other choices,
CALCULATE. Convert 8 pints to cups.
all right, let's go back up here
Out of section.
and let's
Section. Convert 8 pints to cups. Collection 1 item selected. 8 cups to pints equals 4 pints. Sell 3 items.
there it is at the very top of that. Once we stopped interacting, notice the very first result already had it converted for us. Listen again.
Collection 1 item selected. 8 cups to pints equals 4 pints. Sell 3 items.
And there you go. So you can see that the result is already there, or I could choose one of those other options. If we go back up higher here,
Collection.
let's
Collect 8 cups to
all right,
8 cups to pints. Content selected. Search text field.
let's delete that. It says content selected, so I'll just delete.
Selection deleted.
And let's see what happens if I search for Trainer Cliff. It might give me some contact information.
HJ Cliff
Oops, I didn't get it.
space J
Jane.
R
Okay, now
Miller.
press the down arrow.
Collection 1 item selected. Cliff Miller Senior yesterday. Can you re-upload those copies to my
Now that was a message from Trainer Cliff. So see, it's showing me different search results as they pertain to Trainer Cliff. If we interact with that collection, maybe we'll see more.
in collection Cliff Miller Senior yesterday. Tech Showdown Prep 1/28/26. Cliff Miller Senior's 53rd birthday. Cliff Miller Senior's
So-
54th birthday.
All of these things are telling us on the calendar and different group conversations or individual conversations. Let's stop interacting.
I do
Out
not
of
need everybody
section.
knowing now how old I'm going to be this year. Why you using me as an example? But I mean, as they can see, those it's giving accurate information. You have my birthday in there. You search for it on the Mac, and it brought up that info. So that's good.
And it
That's
brought-
good stuff to know. So
That's exactly right. Now let's go and delete that. And
Tech Showdown. Top hits. Set Cliff Miller. Content select Cliff Miller.
now, what I'd like to show you next is this row of buttons here.
Spotlight search. Applications. Files. Actions. Button.
Of course, you can search for files and so on, but I want us to take a look at actions for a moment.
Actions. Search text field. Blank.
Now,
Collection.
notice that there's an edit field so that I can search for actions, but there's also already a collection, and this is our suggested actions. So let's interact with this and see what options we might have.
In collection. Suggestions. Section.
Okay,
Amber. Section.
that's my recipe app.
Apple configurator. Books. Section.
Basically what these are all my apps, and I can interact with any of them to see what the suggested actions are. Let's just go back to suggestions
App and suggestions. Section.
and interact with it.
In section 7 items. Send message. Messages. Send message. Messages. Start timer. Clock. Create note. Notes. Send email. Mail. New event. Calendar. Add.
Okay.
Suggest.
What we
Suggestions.
let's see. what we see there
Out suggestions.
is
Suggestion. Out amber. Suggestions. In start time.
these are all suggestions that are what are known as quick actions that we can activate from Spotlight by looking at the suggestions or by typing the first few letters of them. So I could have typed start, or I could have typed timer or email or anything like that, and it would have brought these up. But now let's suppose that I go ahead and I
Send message. Messages. Add quick keys. Sell 4 items.
now notice what you heard there also. Add quick keys. So let's interact with this and see what we can learn here.
In send message. Messages. Add quick keys. Sell 4 items. In send message. Messages. Add quick keys. Add quick keys.
All right. What quick key phrase might I use here? I suppose we could use MSG for message. Let's try that. I've never done this before. Full disclosure, we're learning together, but I'm going to VO space on this.
Edit text blank.
All right, I'm going to put MSG in there. Typed MSG. Let's go ahead.
Messages. Message MSG text.
Okay.
G.
Now, it's in there. I don't know if I have to press return.
MSG.
Let's just...
Actions search text field blank. Collection 1 item selected. Start timer. Send message. Messages. MSG. Sell 4 items.
Yep, once I press return, it saved that. So, now what'll happen is, let's suppose I...
Send message.
All right.
Suggestions.
I'm glad you said that. Stop there real quick, because people coming from Windows always think that on the Mac is going to be the same. This is one of the differences that I was telling you guys about it's not about size, it's about choice. On the Mac, you don't have to control save like I had a student today telling me that she was taught to save after every paragraph. Okay, well, that might be true in Word, and it's actually not anymore, because you can have an autosave thing for however you set it for. But on the Mac, you literally don't have to command or save nowhere. I mean, you send an email, and system settings, you'll learn when you listen to that recording that all you got to do is record it. In Pages, all you got to do is close it. You don't have to do save. Now, you can make it behave like Windows. Like I said, Apple has made it a point to make... Somebody got mad at me for saying hand holding. So I'm going to say making people coming from Windows more comfortable. So in the settings, you can make that adjustment so you have to get a confirmation every time you close something to save it. But it's not necessary on the Mac. 98% of the things you do on the Mac, you do not have to save. I just had to poke that in there.
Well, and you're right. And just like most of the settings, I mean, I don't know if they still do this, Cliff, because I don't use Windows, but back in the day when I did use Windows, everything in your whatever they used to call control panel, it was apply and OK. Remember that? You had to hit apply to make sure and then hit OK. Yep. None of that on the Mac. And we never have all the way back as far as...
Tigers, where I come from, so...
and leopard, yeah. Yep, that's right. So that's a very good point. Now... Theoretically, we ought to be able to go to the Spotlight search field, and we ought to be able to run that. And just to really, really go ahead and get things cleared out here, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of this completely with the escape key.
Actions search text field blank. Finder. Desktop.
And get back into
volume.
it with Command Space.
Spotlight. Spotlight.
Now I don't know if I need to do this. Again, I'm just learning, okay? But just to be safe, just so we have hopefully a good demo here, I'm going to do Command 3 to get to the quick actions already, in case that's necessary. I don't know if it is, but we're going to do that. Now, we should have...
Actions search text field.
Notice it doesn't say anything when I press the Command 3. I had to go to the right and to the left to hear what the edit field said then. I'm going to type
My
MSG.
guess is because it was the last thing you did, it was still on it. So if you were on something else, it might have spoke it when you pushed Command 3. I'm guessing because like you, I'm learning at the same time. So
Right. Yeah, I didn't look ahead of time to see. That's true. So let's do MSG.
G.
Now, probably we'll have to press return.
Edit text.
All right, what has it done here? Let's VO left arrow and see.
Send text. Send edit text. To text. Recipients button. Recipient to edit text.
Okay.
To text.
So it sounds
Edit
like it
text.
put you in the messages app, and it's asking you who you want to send the message to and what you
It
want to
does.
say.
It does. And I'm going to check my hints here. This field just says
Edit text.
edit text. Let's see. It looks to me like there's only one edit field here, and it's this one.
Edit text.
Okay. This here says to.
To text.
It doesn't say the word edit. And when I do the VO Shift N, it says it's a text element, not an edit field.
You are currently on a text element.
We've created, you remember, the quick key MSG. That's our phrase to send a message. So I'm going to send a message to Trainer Cliff. What it does is it uses the Shortcuts app. So it's vital that you know exactly how your contact's name is entered into the contacts. I suppose maybe the nickname, maybe the related name, if you have those, would work. I haven't tested that, like if I said Mom or something, but I've tested Cliff and I can verify that it works. So we're going to do it together. We're going to press Command Space to open Spotlight.
Spotlight. Spotlight. Spotlight. Search.
We're going to press Command.
And this is assuming, because I do, but this is assuming that you have not disabled or changed your Spotlight shortcut.
That's correct. There is another way to get to it that I'll show you, but yes, that's correct. So we've pressed Command Space. Now we're going to press Command 3 to go to the Actions Spotlight. Now,
Actions. Search text field.
I'm going to search for my message shortcut, MSG,
G.
and press Return.
Edit text.
Okay, I'm in the edit text. Very much counterintuitive as far as I'm concerned to what you would expect. You're going to put the message first and then the recipient. So I'm going to type, how's it going?
How's it n going question mark.
And I'm going to press return.
How's it going?
Now I'm going to type who I want to send that to. Cliff Miller.
Cliff R.
And press return.
Miller.
And if you listen, you might even be able to hear my little whoosh sound when it sends.
Finder. Desktop.
And we'll see if Cliff gets it.
And I did. I just heard the message go off. So that
And there you
is
go.
what we would call, I can't say the word that people usually use, but it's backwards. That is backwards.
Yes, yes. Very interesting, but you know, a neat feature to have in your tool belt, I suppose. Just another one of the
So
many
are you saying
options for
that
doing
if you
things.
created something that said email, that maybe it would open up the email app and allow you to send an email to somebody?
Yes, because there was an email action in there. You would have to assign a quick key phrase if you wanted to use it that way. But yes, there's an email action, and it looks like this is all coming from the Shortcuts app. Basically, they've integrated Shortcuts into Spotlight.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Maybe it's another way to get people to use it, because that's actually something that I might play with. I'm not going to say I'm going to use it like I do Commanders, but I'll definitely, play with it to see how, creative you can get with it.
Exactly, absolutely. And I will just say this, if you don't have Command Space configured for Spotlight, or you've disabled that, you can also find it, although this can be removed also, so you'd have to make sure you have it in one place or another if you intend to use it. But you can also go to the status menus. Now you remember VOM takes you to the menu bar, but VOM twice, as you know, takes you to the status menus.
App. Status menus. Wi-Fi, connected, use, Wi-Fi, user, eject, time machine, zoom.u, audio and video controls, audio, time, user, Wi-Fi, search, spotlight, status menu.
And see, there it is.
Control center, Siri, Friday, February 6th, 1, Friday.
Along with all those other things, control center, the time and date, the time machine, the Wi-Fi stat. I have a lot in my status bar, but that's what you heard. Spotlight search.
Siri, control, search, spotlight, status menu.
Is there. So that's another way of getting to those VOMM, and then go VO left or VO right until you find search. And then you can
and
VO
there,
space
folks,
on.
is a perfect example why I use the keyboard.
So that's kind of an overview. As I said, there are some powerful things you can do with Spotlight. We've shown you just a few, but it's just another tool. Neither Cliff nor I really use Spotlight very much at all on the Mac or the iPhone or iPad. not because it's bad, just because there's so many other ways of doing things. If I were really going to do a conversion, like I demonstrated for you, cups to gallons or something, I would ask SIRI. I wouldn't go through typing all that. I'd just say, Siri, how many cups are in 8 gallons?
1:25 a.m.
8 gallons is 128 cups.
And there you go. So it's a lot quicker, in my opinion. But it's nice to know we have our options and our choices.
Exactly, because I can ask my Alexa. I can say that because that's not my wake word, but yeah.
That's right.
We have different options, different assistants do different things, but, we have choices, options, the right to pick. No way is the right way. It's what works for you. We would like to thank Trainer Matt from ttjtech.biz. You can go check out his page at ttjtech.biz with all his resources, free resources, paid trainings, home automation, all kinds of stuff. It's almost as good as my page, but yeah, go check it out. But for Trainer Matt, this is Trainer Cliff with More with the Mac, JP Reloaded. Thank you for joining More at the Mac, JP Reloaded. Remember, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, something you want demoed, or a topic you want covered, send us an email at feedback@stiritup.com. That's FEE, the letter D, the word back, at STURITUP.com. See you next time.